What's going on, peoples? Make some coffee. I feel like I wasn't really done talking the other day about back in the day. I have to go to work today at 2, and it's 11:30, so, and I haven't showered yet or gotten ready for the day at all. I just had to run out to my truck, so I put the shirt on, and so I really could only go live for 30 minutes. I finished recording that song I was talking about earlier the other day, and I didn't finish it that day, but I finished, I had to work on it for a few days, but it's just kind of like a fun like sort of, it's just pop, country. It's exactly actually what I said it was. It's 80s rockabilly meets 90s pop punk. It's exactly that. I don't know what I'm going to do for breakfast, so I might go out and eat something. Yeah, so the song is completed. I published a song, and it's going to be out next week, probably about 5 days before my 6-song EP called 5. That's going to be released June 6th. Oh my gosh. I got to do some more dental work. I've probably put about $20,000 in my mouth in the last 2 years. It's expensive, man. It's so expensive. I got another tooth back here decaying. Just spent $5,000 on a root canal and a crown, the tooth in front of it, and I'm eating this really tough black licorice, and I'm like, and I'm feeling pain right there. That's impossible. They killed all the nerves. And I remember the dentist said we got to work on the tooth behind it soon, but I didn't know soon meant 6 months soon, because I just did dental work 6 months ago. Hello. Hello. I'm just making some coffee, bitching about my teeth. I have to do more dental work, and I just did a bunch of dental work last year and the year before. And I was thinking it would be nice to have a year where I don't have to spend, like $5,000 on some dental shit. So I'm back in pain, chronic pain. But to be fair, this tooth is not nearly as bad as the tooth I worked on November last year. That shit was scary to even look at, and the pain was extreme. So this is about, I would say, not even half the amount. So I do have to fix it, but it's not like something I have to do, right away. I could fix it in a couple weeks or even a month. But the thing is I don't like to have to take ibuprofen all day long until they fix it. Which I'm doing now. And I'm talking about... Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. It's brutal. Such is life. It's brutal. Oh, ooh, that coffee's so good. Hold on, let me flip this phone around. It's brutal. Gingers. Ginskis. What's up, girl? Girl. She's in competition with the phone. She's like, fuck that cell phone. She's like, let's play. Brother's just waking up, though. So I gotta turn off the bathroom light. Oh, that's so fucking good, though. Heaven's Brew. Coffee is the best. So, I got so much music being released in the next few weeks. I have a 6-song EP, and I have 2 singles being released in the next 2 weeks. And I'm actually going to re-record one of my songs on physical copies and just get it. I mean, we recorded that song in like 5 hours, so I want to re-record one of these songs I used to play in my band, and I want to spend, like 3 or 4 days on it and get it sounding really good. And I'm going to record it with a whole new... I've basically been writing notes the last few days about how I'm going to record the song because, there's like 20, 30 things I want to do on the song, and if I don't write it down, I might spend days recording the song, doing everything perfectly, and then going, oh, I forgot that one thing. G. So nice out here in the country, though. Even though I have tooth pain, one of my teeth are decaying in the back. It's like still being out here in the country. So nice. Ginseng. Oh, very wise. Ginseng. Say hi, Ginger. Say hi. I was thinking, I was talking about, I went live like 4 days ago, and I was talking about being in my band in my early 20s, and my girlfriend Desiree, and And anyways, I remember moving up to Montana. Oh shit. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I feel so fucked up. Like all I did, I just slept for 12 hours straight and I feel fucked up. So, hold on, I'll check. I have a lot of people texting me right now. Okay. Melindian. Oh shit. Sorry, I don't want to stare at your fucking stupid emoji for more than fucking 10 seconds. But I'll leave the first comment up. So I moved to Montana to live with my dad when I was 22, and that's where I met Desiree. And just like different, a lot different than Southern California. And I remember I worked at the same place Desiree worked at. But we were never scheduled at the same time. And she was in college full time, so she only worked there like 20 hours a week, and I was working there full time. I had long hair, really long hair, a lot longer hair than I do now. And it was, I was younger, so it was a lot thicker and longer hair. I got a haircut though, when I was there. So I had long hair part of the time. Because my stepmom's like a force to be reckoned with. She's first of all, she's really, really wealthy. Well, my stepmom at the time. My dad, remarried again. So, but anyways, even though that's crazy that even though she's not even my stepmom anymore, I still call her my fucking stepmom. She was just like, she's like hardcore country lady, and literally worked her way up to the top. Managed a KFC working 60, 70 hours a week for years until she took over part of that KFC and then took over the entire KFC and then started opening up other KFCs, and then she started opening up like all these fucking businesses and had like contracting companies and just did all this fucking shit. And she was also made a bunch of money because I forget this story. She would tell everybody about this all the time, but I was young, I was 22, so I was listening, but I couldn't really retain it. But something about like Kevin Costner, she was friends with Kevin Costner. She's still friends with Kevin Costner. And she knows a lot of people in Montana, and she knows a lot of people in Central California. And anyway, she's friends with Kevin Costner because Kevin Costner did some movie about some kids being like kidnapped and beaten or something. I forget exactly what it was, but she was like family member to those kids or was one of those kids. Something to do with she was like directly related to something about that story. So basically she was like a big part of that movie, not on the acting side, but just telling people how it went or whatever. So anyways, she became like really good friends with Kevin Costner. She's still really good friends with him to this day. Like Kevin Costner has a property in Montana. And so she's somehow involved with all these like businesses and Hollywood too. Somehow. I couldn't really explain it right now how it was all put together, but so I went up to the small town in Montana, and the sheriff in the town was like obsessed with my stepmom. I'm gonna keep her anonymity. Um, she's still really wealthy. So anyways, but my dad moved up there. My dad's from Long Beach. So he goes up to Montana. He's in Dickie shorts, Converse. He's listening to, like, he's old school Long Beach dude. Listens to like Oingo Boingo, punk rock stuff, just like beach guy. And so, anyways, the sheriff like was so like jealous of because my dad just started dating Jody right away. My dad's a baller. He just goes into the bar and just takes over basically. So he's dating Jody, and they have the biggest house in this small town in Montana. A gigantic house. They have like 5 classic trucks. They have $200,000 RVs. They have about 7, F-150s. They own the liquor license in that town to the surrounding towns also. They provide all the liquor. The basement of that house was bigger than this house I'm in right now. Literally, the basement was bigger than this. And it was just stocked with all, Grey Goose, best liquor ever, Jack Daniels, just all different types of liquor, because we stocked up all the bars in that town, the surrounding towns, and we owned the grocery store, restaurants, and so that was my stepmom basically. So I moved up from California, not having very much, living with my mom. We were like probably lower middle class. My mom's always had really good jobs, but it's like one income, so even though she had a really good job, we were still kind of like lower middle class, but we always had plenty of everything, but especially when my mom worked at Knott's Berry Farm, that's when we were really doing well. But and that was my entire childhood. I'll get into that in a little bit. So anyways, so I go up to Montana, and it's just like my dad's balling. He's with this chick that is like, just, she's like in control of not only that household and her big family, but the entire town. She's the heavyweight in that town, and she's got like, it's a really small town. There's only like, there was probably only like 2,000 people living in that town, and about half of them worked for my stepmom. So I go up there, and she's like, you're just like your father. My dad picks me up at the airport. We're smoking the same cigarette. This is my blood dad. Oh, that's kind of funny, because the last live I went on, my stepdad, because my mom remarried when I was 4 years old. So I told my whole story about my stepdad, Hollywood, what lifestyle changes that he went through and everything. So this is my blood dad. So I'm like 22, so I'm kind of like trying to like reconnect with my blood dad, because I was like running amok with my band, I was, partying a lot and stuff. I was living in Fullerton when I was 19, and then I was in Claremont. Anyways, I was just doing the whole music thing. And so they're like, why don't you, take a break from California, go up to Montana and stay with your blood dad. I call my blood dad by his first name, because he wasn't, I still call him by his first name. That's what I do, and so anyways, but we have we have a pretty good relationship now. I mean, we really bonded in Montana, and we've seen each other a handful of times since then. So this is a long time. I'm 41 years old. It's like I'm 41 years old, but when I went to Montana, I was 22, and I was fucked off. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I was doing so much fucking cocaine, and I was fucked off. So I went up to Montana to reconnect with my blood dad, and right away Jody's like, just like your father, we smoke the same cigarettes, he picks me up at the airport. We crack open a beer. We pull out our cigarettes at the same time. It's the same brand. We talk the same. It's the apple didn't fall far from the tree. So, um, um, so anyways, it's like not only is it culture shock, it's right away. It's like, here's a truck, I was given a $70,000 brand new truck, a wad of, thousands of dollars and $100 bills. Right. As soon as I get to Montana, I have like this long hair, I'm fucking like 135 pounds. And I'm just like, it's not that I didn't want to be there, but it was like, I knew I had to be there, but I wasn't going there because I knew what kind of lifestyle I was getting into. So anyways, it's like, here's the truck, here's all this money, and you're going to work. You're going to work at the fucking grocery store that they owned. They owned the grocery store. And that's where my girlfriend Desiree, her mom worked there also. She was like the manager of the grocery store. So anyways, it's like me and my dad were having like such a good time because there's only 2 bars in town. It's this little town in Montana. And we're at one of the 2 bars, usually the first bar, I forget what it was called. The first bar was more of like a modern bar, and the other bar was just right out. You felt like you're in some like fucking 1930s, old school cowboy western shit with fucking elks on the wall, and the bartender was like this old fucking government agent dude that was like fucking 85 years old and was like, just dumped salt on his beer and just would tell us all these like crazy like fucking Fed stories when he worked for the Feds in like the 70s. And it was the kind of place where they would fucking like kill you if they didn't like you. It's like, it was like old school Montana, old school America. So anyways, I'm like 22 and I have a ton of money, I have a brand new truck, and I'm at one of these bars and I'm like, this is actually pretty great. This is like, you couldn't really get marijuana, in Montana I don't know how it is now, but 20 years ago, like if somebody had like an ounce of marijuana, it was like a big deal, so there was marijuana, but only in very small amounts. So I was able to get like little pinches of nugs, just small amounts of marijuana. So I wasn't really smoking that much weed, just compared to California where I was just rolling joints all day fucking long. I wasn't really smoking that much weed, so I kind of had more natural clarity or whatever, but I was drinking a lot. I was drinking a lot, and it was high elevation, so the alcohol hits you differently. And this town was an alcohol town, so I was drinking all the time, and I was like, this is actually pretty great, being up here. I had a master bedroom in this huge house. They gave me the master bedroom, and my bed was like a double king with the huge pillars. I had a balcony that looked over like a stream, this like little river. It was unbelievable, this little river stream. Now that I look back at it, I feel like I would have appreciated that room way more now that I'm 41, but I was 22, so I was just like, cool, huge room, let's go to the bar. I wasn't that I was grateful, but I had this gigantic bathroom with this huge tub. I had a giant, flat screen on the wall, and it was just so nice, actually. It was unbelievably nice. It was, $1 million lifestyle I was living when I was 22 years old. And so, anyways, I started dating Desiree, and that's when it got really awesome. Desiree started dating Desiree, and my stepmom, her son was like obsessed with Desiree since like middle school. So this kid fucking hated me like with a passion. He would like just park in front of the house with his truck for like hours, and he wouldn't even go inside. And he's family, got the master bedroom, and so and I always thought it was stupid because he had a girlfriend that was fucking unbelievably hot. His girlfriend was like even hotter than probably Desiree, and Desiree was really attractive, but his girlfriend was like crazy hot. She, white chick. He was, head of the football team or whatever, football star in the town. And his girlfriend was like crazy hot. And I remember always dating Desiree going, God, I wish I could fucking date his girlfriend. I don't know why he's so fucking jealous over Desiree. So anyways, Desiree we start dating basically. We're like this, we're young. I was 22, she was 20. She eventually turned 21, like maybe 4 or 5 months after we started dating. And we fell in love, I guess you could say, because, basically we're having sex, and we're young. So we thought we were like completely in love. I guess you could say we were a couple for sure. So anyways, I look back at it now and I realize that she was really serious about me. And so anyways, she was in college. She was going to college in Bozeman. I know it's like Missoula and Bozeman. I always get those names mixed up. She was going to college in one of them, whatever the big college town is up there. She was at that one. And so, she got an apartment. We got an apartment, but Montana's different than California. You could get giant apartments for a lot less, than California. So we got this 3-bedroom apartment with this fireplace, this huge fucking apartment, and my stepmom paid for everything. I didn't have to pay any bills or anything, and we had this apartment for a year, fully furnished. We had like giant fucking couches, and we were given $400 a week for groceries, and so we had this apartment. And anyways, Desiree had 2 of her college girlfriends live in this apartment. So it was me and Desiree. We had the master bedroom, and then there's 2 other rooms that were also pretty good sized rooms. And we never saw these girls though. They were always at school or doing something. They were literally like almost always gone. So it was almost like just Desiree. And I wasn't working at that time. I wasn't going to school or anything. So I was just, hanging out basically in this apartment, watching movies and stuff, hanging out with Desiree a lot. Desiree would do school stuff for like 4 or 5 hours and she'd come back. So I remember just hanging out with Desiree. So eventually I'm like, okay, I'm getting fucking, it's like at this point I've had enough of Montana. I've been in Montana for like over a year. It was like a year and a half. I was like 6 months at that fucking mansion house in the country. And then I was at that apartment for almost a year. So I was like, okay, Desiree, this is great and everything, but I want to go back to California. I want to be back with my band. This has been like a year and a half. I said, you're going to love California. You're going to love LA. There's clubs. You're 21 now. You're going to fucking love Southern California. So I call my stepmom and I'm like, I want to go to California. I want to record an album and I want to print t-shirts for my band. And she's like, okay. She's like, how much do you need? I was like, I don't know, like $10,000. And she's like, sure. And so she loads my fucking bank account up with money. And I go down there and Desiree and we stay at the Sheraton in Ontario, kind of by the airport. And I book a room for 2 weeks. And I book a fucking room for 2 weeks. Long story short, I don't record an album. I don't print t-shirts. I don't do fucking anything. I just blew through that fucking money. We stayed at this hotel. We were ordering these $24 fucking double vodka orange juice drinks. We brought a case of fucking liquor from the basement at the house. I mean, we had talked to fucking Daniel, Anthony, my drummer, talk to anybody. They know about that 2 weeks when I was at the Sheraton. We had a fucking bucket of I remember we had this tequila bottle and Anthony came over. Like, nobody was drinking like this fucking weird tequila bottle. We were all drinking all the other shit. We had all this liquor and we were still ordering these double orange juice vodka drinks like all fucking day long. We're spending like $400 a day on alcohol at the hotel. Anyways, Anthony comes over and he's I think he was kind of already shitty drunk. He comes over to see Daniel. Daniel was at the hotel like most of the 2 weeks, and we were doing so much fucking yay. I mean, I was with like tons of it. We were having like parties at this hotel, and so yeah. But I just always remember Anthony came over and he's like, oh, look at this. It's like this like little bottle of fucking tequila I grabbed from Montana. And I can't even remember the brand. It's just like a weird off-label brand of tequila. And he's fucking pouring himself shots. He's taking all these shots of this tequila and he's getting all shitty drunk and shit. And anyways, I just remember like being in this white robe for like 2 weeks. And anyway, so I drive back up to fucking Montana with Desiree in my truck, and I'm fucking hung over. I'm like, I had like a gram of cocaine left. I was like, I gotta bring a little fucking cocaine back with me. So I had like a gram of cocaine and Desiree, and we were all doing tons of that, you know. I'll talk about myself only though, but anyways, especially her though, that was insane. Her and her fucking girlfriends, it's like, fuck, can you slow down please and save some for the band? You know, it's like, was ridiculous. But anyways, so we I get up there and I sit in the fucking living room and I'm just like all pale and just like fucking just look horrible. And my dad just looks at me and he's like, you didn't fucking do anything down there, did you? He's like, you didn't record an album. You didn't print t-shirts, anything with the money. Did you do anything? And I was like, nope, I didn't, man. Didn't do anything. And he's like, and so anyway, so I'm up at Montana and we're back in Montana for like 3 months. And I'm like missing that lifestyle. I just have, you know, my group of friends in California and my band basically. So I'm like, Desiree, let's get an apartment down in California. And she goes, okay. So we get a place. We rent this back room at a house from my friend Jamie's friend. And it's just like a room and a bathroom. We were there for a little bit, and then we eventually did get our own apartment in Fullerton. And the house, though, was like right behind Disneyland, so that was cool to see the fireworks, and that was cool. But the way they ran that house was like they always had roommates. It's a big house in Anaheim, so they always had roommates, so everything was like really structured, and you know, it's just, you felt like you were in like a sober living house, but you were allowed to drink and do drugs. But it's just like everything was very, and like I always remember the wallpaper was like this gothic dark purple wallpaper. It was cool. We had fun there because we were playing a lot of Wii tennis and stuff, and we were always, you know, having, you know, parties and stuff. But you just felt it wasn't our place, you know. And Desiree and I were used to being as like our fucking place. Even when we had the 2 girl roommates, it was like our apartment. It was in our name. So it was weird, like renting a room with her and being under, you know, the owners of the house, you know. What was her name? Geneva. So Geneva was cool though, and you know, she was friends with Mike Holton, Jamie Hutter. Mike Holton was original member of St. Ferris. He's a, you know, great guy. Really, actually, Mike Holton's really fucking cool, and he was in a band called Lindley for a long time. But anyways, we eventually got our own apartment. And then Desiree was working at Rainforest Cafe at Disney, not Disneyland, but whatever, right next to Disneyland. She's at the Rainforest Cafe. And anyways, at this point, it's like I've been with Desiree like 2.5 years, and I'm just like fucking just done. Yeah, I just don't want to be with anybody at this time. I was young. I was in my early 20s. I've been with one girl for it was like 2.5 or 3 years. We were living together for like 2.5 years, but then dating before that. So we were probably together for 3 years or longer. And I was just tired of. It wasn't like didn't like her or anything. I just was tired of just dating anybody. Yeah, I'm just fucking tired. I was just fucking tired of myself, actually. I was just fucking burnt out of just the lifestyle. So we got in like a huge fucking fight. And then I fucking drove off, never saw her again. I got in my Honda Civic. She had a car. Drove off, never saw her again. I should have married Desiree. If I wasn't so fucking stupid and young, I should have fucking married her ass like the first year we were dating. Because she was great. Like, she did it, whatever I said. She cooked, she was faithful. She was just cool, too, It's just basically perfect girlfriend, So I drove off in my Honda, and I just was, that ibuprofen definitely is taking the pain away. Fucking A, man. People fucking texting me. I gotta do shit today, though. I can't just fucking, the pain's gone, so I can't bitch about my fucking tooth. I'm gonna have to, it's 12 o'clock. I have to work and stuff today. I can't just sit around all day. So, anyways, I drove off in my Honda. I had this brand new Honda Accord, and or Civic or something. Honda something. It was just, I remember it was just brand new. I had a brand new car I got from my who was my stepfather, who had a full op sex change. I said that in this story before this one. Anyways, because I moved back to California from Montana, and I'm not saying that my stepfather was like trying to compete with my blood father about like who could be a better parent, even though I was an adult in my early 20s, but I did get a brand new Honda, so, because I needed a car, I was fucking, had my own apartment. You have to have a car in Southern California. It's not like living in Portland or something. You have to have some kind of fucking transportation. And Desiree had her, like, was it like a Chrysler or she had this weird, it wasn't weird, but it was just like this really long sedan, it was nice. It was nice, but, my car was a lot newer and a lot nicer. But anyways, she had that car. And anyways, then she moved in with my buddy in Victorville. She moved in with my buddy Wes. She was there for like 3 or 4 months. She's probably thinking I was going to come back, and then she worked at some restaurant. I remember Wes was telling me, he's like, yeah, Desiree's working at fucking Applebee's as a waitress. So she think about her, she's always had a great work ethic. I mean, she's always had a job no matter what. She's always working, making money. She gets that from her mom. But Desiree did end up having kids. I think she had like 3 kids with somebody, and that, I think they're in like the psych ward now or something. But yeah, she has contacted. She contacted me when I was in Portland, but I was dating this girl in Portland, living with this girl. And she contacted me again before that too. But yeah, I mean, I would have dated her now, but I mean, I'm not gonna date any girl with kids or anything, so maybe Angel Fit, a fucking Marine girl on Instagram. She's got a little kid, but dude, that chick is so extremely fit. I mean, her name is Angel Fit. You know, her thing is working out, but she is she is like very, you know, muscular for a girl. She's really pretty too. She's really attractive. I feel like she's too muscular. Like if you get really fit and you work on your ass and shit, but when a girl gets her upper body too muscular, it's like, damn, dude. It's like, you know, fucking, you're laying next to her. It looks like a fucking man if you look at her from behind, you know. So it's just like too much. I think when girls, you know, get their upper body too muscular. I mean, if you're a dude and you're like some fucking bodybuilder, then they wouldn't look that big to you if you were fucking super muscular. But I'm not, you know. I'm fucking skinny, so I'm not gonna just try to date some chick that's fucking good bench press more than me, do more pull-ups than me. That would be kind of cool though. You can make them fucking do everything. Like, hey, go chop some wood and get the fire going and go chop wood and carry water. Okay, I'm gonna heat up my coffee. Yeah, I don't even want to sit down back on this couch. I feel like it's go time. Like I gotta start doing shit. You know, I don't even know what to eat. We have a lot of food at the house, but everything is all packaged meat and stuff. I don't want to sit here and cook meat, especially with my tooth and stuff. And we ran out of rice. Like the only thing I want to eat is rice. Rice, butter, salt, and pepper is like the only thing I have an appetite for. Oh, whew. Waking up for the day. Man, I've been sleeping heavy. You know, I haven't had a drink in 2 years and 2 months. I quit all alcohol with the AA program. Yeah, I don't really, it's not that I don't like or dislike AA. I just went to so many meetings that it's kind of like dating Desiree, you know, just kind of, it's like, okay, I went to basically meetings for a long time, you know, so, but anyways, it did work because I don't drink alcohol. I haven't had a drink for 2 years and 2 months. And if you're an alcoholic like I was, you probably couldn't even imagine not having a drink for even a month or even maybe a week. So it worked. Yeah, it definitely worked. I don't drink and I don't smoke pot. You know, so these when I'm talking about my stepfather and my father in my early 20s and stuff, it's kind of like, to me, it's like a speaker meeting I'm doing, but on YouTube with like 550 subscribers. So, yeah, I don't smoke pot, and that's a blessing because, I mean, I thought I was going to be a lifer, you know, I thought I was going to smoke weed for the rest of my life. I smoked pot throughout my entire 20s. And I was the kind of pothead where I had to smoke pot, you know, it wasn't like just some fun thing, you know, I did every now and then. I smoked pot in the morning, smoked pot at night, I smoked 2 joints, and I smoked 2 joints, then I smoked 2 more. So being sober is great. I'm starting to feel like, you know, and also, oh fuck, man, that's crazy. Actually, I was dating Desiree longer than I thought because I just broke up with Desiree and then I started going to the Eastern Orthodox Church because Justin, you know, Justin Randomland, Justin Willits is his last name. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but yeah, Justin Willits, he's my high school buddy. So Justin Randomland, we were in a band. We were part of this huge Christian alternative scene when we were like 15, 16 years old. And then at 17, I started, getting into secular music, Led Zeppelin, I was like, okay, well, I mean, why aren't we listening to all, the great bands and doing, drinking and stuff? So basically I broke out of that like community and just started hanging out with just normal people. But so anyways, I remember Justin, he converted to Eastern Orthodoxy when he was like 27 or something. I don't know what year, but anyways, he was the one that invited me to the Eastern Orthodox Church. And I remember I just fucking broke up with Desiree. I just broke up with Desiree and I went to a party. Justin had a party in Anaheim at his apartment complex, and he had like fucking like 80 people there at this like small apartment, and it's just tons of people. And I remember getting all drunk, and he pitched Orthodox to me, and he's like, just come to the liturgy. He's been asking me to go to the liturgy for like a while. I'm like, okay, I'll go. So I went to the liturgy. Long story short, I, converted to Eastern Orthodoxy. So I converted to Eastern Orthodoxy. So that kind of got my focus off, everything else, basically. Got my focus off everything else. And then I just, was going into liturgy. I was going to liturgy every week for years, to Orthodox liturgy. But that whole time I was still drinking heavily, using tons, like worse than ever, even though I'm converted. So eventually I had, got into the AA program. So now, I'm sober and, I do go to church, but I probably go to church like once. I go to church like a couple times a year. So I just go just a couple times a year to church, and then just basically live my life sober and just started, publishing a lot of music because I stopped, really stopped actively playing music from like 26 all the way up to like probably 36. And yeah, there was times where I was like, I worked at the fiber optic company with friends from church, and there was times where I would jam, and we would actually jam for like a few hours, and we would be playing music, we would play my songs. And there was times like in Portland where I had an acoustic guitar and I was writing a lot of music in Portland, but it was just, it was just jamming or writing music. But just in the last 2 years have I actually been, recording, publishing music, and actually doing the whole thing again. Full circle, I do have an EP, dropping on June 6th. And it's a 6-song EP called 5. It's good too. Like some of these songs, if I played some of these songs with my old band, it would be so fucking good. Because I had the best bass player and I had the best drummer. They were a unit. They were in bands even before I was playing with them. They were solid. So like songs like Rocking Out, We Got Along, The Time of Flowers, Breakfast Without the Beatles, Inside and Out, even Kiltered, like all these songs, Don't Call Me Back, all these songs that I've published in the last couple of years. If I played those songs with my old band, that would be something that would be worthwhile. That would sound really good. That would be fun. Songs that I did play with my old band were like Foreigner, Holy Tabernacle, First Class Whore, Hot Stuff. I did Hot Stuff is not, it's the same, it's basically the same guitar riff, but it's song structured differently, and it got a different vibe. It's structured differently than how we used to play it in Hold Me Like a Gun. Too Late, we used to play Too Late and Hold Me Like a Gun. Cocaine Freaks. And we played a bunch of other songs that I have not even recorded yet. Get Gone. We used to play that one. It's kind of like a warm up song, jam song. Then we had this one song. Yeah, we had some crazy fucking songs too. That I played with my old band. But yeah, so I think I'm pretty much ready to start playing in a band again. Absolutely. I think I have a truck, so I could load my gear around. I just need to get some gear. I got to get a half stack. I'll probably just get a Marshall, honestly. I mean, there's some amps in brands that I really like and stuff. Like I like Orange a lot. The best amp I've ever had was a Seymour Duncan. It was tubed, the half stack Seymour Duncan, and the head had tubes in it. Tubed amp. Hands down, I use that in the Discarded, the band with Justin. That was the best fucking guitar amp I've ever played. That's the best guitar amp I've ever seen anybody play. I've never seen anybody use a better amp than a Seymour Duncan head with the tubes in it. It was like a specialty amp, whereas when we needed to get tubes replaced for the head, it was like difficult to find things for that, because the amp was from the 80s, the amp was from the late 80s. But yeah, the Seymour Duncan, dude, that had like the best chorus and reverb built in that fucking guitar amp. And the Seymour Duncan, when the Discarded, when we played shows and stuff, I mean, every other band was envious of my guitar amp. And they're like, dude, what is this? And I'm like, fucking careful, it's a tube. There's tubes in there, it's not like a shitty fucking amp like your amp. This actually has like little glass tubes in the head. We had to like handle it like very carefully, set it down carefully. And but yeah, everybody fucking, I mean, we sounded like basically better than all the other bands just because of the guitar amp we had. I used a Marshall for a while when I was in Hold Me Like a Gun. And that was a good half stack. Like, I like the Marshall, actually. I think it's got just a solid distortion sound, and they're heavy duty. They're just reliable. They're loud. They have a good sound to it. It didn't have that authentic, like, kind of twangy reverb sound that the Seymour Duncan has, but yeah, I would definitely buy a Marshall half stack if I started playing live again, for sure. When you're in your 20s, you're living your life, and you're moving places, you have relationships, but you don't really realize you're living your life. You just kind of, you're living your life, but you don't realize that is going to be your history. That's going to be your legacy. Like going to Montana, dating Desiree, driving back to California, going to clubs with Desiree. Desiree had cocktail dresses. She had a little mod haircut, I was in my band, Hold Me Like a Gun. We would play live. A lot of people would come to our show. I was just doing that, but I wasn't thinking that was going to be my story for my 20s. What we do ultimately is our legacy, of what we leave behind. So that's why I kind of been tripping lately, because I'm like some of the lyrics in my songs are so worldly, they're so secular. I'm like, I'm starting to come to the next stage of life where I'm 41, and I'm starting to think about animals and treating animals well, and not eating processed food, and like be careful what I say, and just basically conscious of my actions and behavior now, where I didn't have that in my 20s. I had zero acknowledgement of my behavior and my actions when I was in my especially my early 20s, and even mid 20s. I was fucking just going like it was, what bar are we going to? Like, where are we going? Like, who has fucking cocaine? What are we doing? Like, let's fucking go. Let's fucking rock. Are we gonna play a concert there? Then why are we going there? Are we gonna play there? Because I only want to go there if we're gonna be playing live. So I was just going. But now I'm just ready to, you can hear it in my music too, like Inside and Out. It's more reflective lyrics. It's more take it all back. It's just, you could tell the lyrics are getting more in depth. The stuff I was doing in my early 20s was just like rock. It's like Motley Crue lyrics, just stupid shit. And now you can see with my music, it's kind of getting more, kind of a little more in depth, reflective. But then, like Pity Party, the song I'm releasing in like 5 days, half of those lyrics I wrote when I was 20 years old. So some of the music I've been releasing, the lyrics are 20 years old, so it was my conscious writing those lyrics 20 years ago. So, that's, First Class Whore, the song I published, First Class Whore, that recording is literally like 18 years old. That's an old fucking recording. And it's live too. So, and it sounds great. It's probably like one of the better songs I have published on Spotify is First Class Whore, and that's an 18-year-old fucking recording. And Cocaine Freaks, we recorded that like a year after that. I was like 25 when I recorded Cocaine Freaks. And I'm gonna re-release that actually, because I put some beeping sounds over some of the lyrics. It's not the kind of stuff you like listen to it with your parents, it comes on in the radio. So, but, and we have like other old like recordings and stuff. I think we have actually Black Haired Angel. We have an old recording of, Nathan, or I fucking went to this, he was a Christian recording producer named Mike Best in Anaheim. And I was, I think, like 26 or 27. So I was already converted to Eastern Orthodoxy, but I was still kind of like had a bunch of, friends from the scene. So anyways, I was going and I was spending so much money recording this 5-song EP with Mike Best. And I don't even have a copy of it. And I wish I did, because I had like this reggae song. And I had this song called I'm Not Sorry. I had good fucking produced, like really, really good songs. And there's got to be a CD or a demo of that somewhere. And then I remember Nathan came, my bass player, and he was doing like this mandolin on one of the songs. It just sounded so fucking good. That was like really good though. I mean, those 5 songs those had shelf life. I mean, those songs could, especially like I'm Not Sorry had this crazy fucking guitar lead. My buddy Henry like went nuts on this guitar solo. I had Henry in there. I had Daniel doing like this Rastafari. He was like reading the Bible and it was like all Rasta, Dude, that fucking 5 songs I record with Mike Best are incredible. And I don't know if he probably has it somewhere on his hard drive. So I need to contact him and get those 5 songs, or I need to find the CD. It's got to be somewhere, because I remember I had my Honda and I would be listening to these songs on a CD, and they were good. I mean, they were really good. I've done so much music stuff. And, but I'm so unorganized, All right, that's it. I think I wanted to talk about Montana and when Desiree and I went to that Sheraton hotel for 2 weeks in Ontario. That was so much fucking fun. Ugh. I feel like I lived such a awesome life, really from 17 to like 26 that I don't know. I feel like I just want to write like reflective country music now or something meaningful. I don't want to just have Cocaine Freaks and First Class Whore up on Spotify and that's it. It's got to be the early stuff, it's got to be. It was like, oh, that's his early shit, when he was like 24. So I might honestly like go dark for like 6 months. Like take a break from social platforms and really like dial in and write some like really good country music and like properly record country music, like, and make that shit sound really fucking good, and just come out with like a really good country album, really good country album, maybe nine songs, and then that's it. And fucking do something else in life, 12:30. Yeah, I got a shower. I haven't done fucking shit. I got to shower. I got to make breakfast. I'm probably gonna go get breakfast. Dude, the wind is fucking gnarly. Dude, the wind. We have dirt storms and dirt devils the size of a New York fucking skyscraper. I'm not even joking. I was sitting in my truck the other day. All this fucking shit's flying around my truck. I can't even see out the window. This truck's rocking. We had a fucking tornado or something. Can't really. I don't want to drop my location, but not like it's that difficult to find anybody nowadays, but it's fucking. I'm looking out at the trees. We live in the country, but it's like rolling hills. We have like beautiful trees and stuff, even though it's country. Kind of. I'm in Arizona, but this is not like the cactus part of Arizona. That's South Arizona, where all the cactuses are. North Arizona, I have, there's 20-minute drive from here. There's like huge fucking mountains, like Big Bear, But this part is still kind of desert. So it's nice. It's, kind of deserty, but then there's kind of some trees, All right. I think that's what I wanted to go over. Anyway, so order 5. It's an EP called 5. 6 songs. They all sound good. Really, really good. That drops on June 6th. Then I have 2 singles dropping like 5 days before that. And then I'm gonna start working on some old like Hold Me Like a Gun stuff. Like I'm gonna re-record a song on Physical Copies, which is a 10-song album I dropped last year. All right, y'all have a good one. Here, let's end with some positivity. Some icons. That's Saint Xenia. Sorry, I got a vitamin C in my mouth. That's Saint Xenia, Russian saint. Her husband was a general in the army, and he passed away at a drinking party. So she wore basically his jacket and his clothes and people thought she was insane, but she's not. And then that's Mother Mary, obviously. And I don't know what this is. Like, that's from a candle. I actually lived in Fullerton in my early 30s, and I rented a room, an expensive fucking room. That chick was gouging me, man. Like, it was like $750 a month. It was either $750 or $850 a month. And it was like, at the time, it was really difficult for me to pay the rent. And I had no car. I'm just like stuck. And, but I had my own bathroom. And I had a huge closet. I mean, it's a good sized room, but it was ridiculous. Like, I remember all I was doing was selling pot. So, and we lived next door to a fucking sheriff, obviously. You know, so it was like that. So I'm trying to make it not smell in my room because I'd have like pounds of weed in my room, and I'm like trying to close the window. And so there's like no weed was allowed in that house, you know, and I'm like trying to like subtly smoke weed and shit, like blow it out the window. So stupid. So yeah, I remember barely being able to fucking make rent every month. And that was the end of my glory days, because the first few years I sold pot is I had the connection with the grower. So I was able to get incredible weed at like the lowest price possible fronted to me. So I was making tons of money. I was making, you know, some days I make $800-900 a day. But I was living with family. So I had all this fucking money. Oh, you need $500 here. There's $500, you know, whatever you need. I had it like that. Had a fucking Jaguar, you know, for years. But then towards the end, I was like, that grow no longer, you know, they moved, you know, that grow moved to Northern California. And so I was like middlemaning shit, you know, getting like a pound and trying to make like $600 or $700 when I could. I didn't have the fucking product like I had before at the price I had before. So it was like different. So I was like, that was like the tail end of my my weed era. And I was just like renting this room in Fullerton for like 6 months, like barely fucking making it. That's fucking hilarious. So, anyways, so the last live and this live was basically like my entire music history, you know. I mean, I could go off more, you know, on each story. There's way more levels and layers to each story. And it's good I'm talking about this because I want to remember this stuff, because I do probably going to write a biography and write a book one day. I should probably start that on my computer now and just start, you know, remembering, oh, yeah, we got, you know, we went there. We just start, I actually should start doing that. God, it's going to be another fucking huge project. I hate starting like music projects and stuff because once I get started, I can't stop. Like if I start writing a biography, if I start writing a book, it'll be like 70 or 80 pages before I even get to 17 years old. You know, it'll be fucking ridiculous. So maybe not though, it probably won't be. So yeah, I should start writing some sort of book. But this is kind of why I could go live, and it's like, this is like the start of the process of writing a book. Because you go live, you start shit for a few hours, then, oh, I remember that, and then, oh shit, fuck, I remember that. You start remembering more and more, and then what I'll do is I'll go back and watch this video, and then just like whatever I talk about for 5 minutes, I'll just expand on it. I'll watch a YouTube video and then get on my computer, Start fucking writing. I don't know. I don't fucking know. All right, you guys have a good one, y'all. Stay up. Stay real. Stay real. Stay true. Do you, boo-boo? What's up, Ginge? Okay, be smoking cheap cigarettes. You know I'm fucking like kind of broke. I shouldn't even be smoking. That's why I was buying Marlboro Reds. They're like $13 a pack. I'm like, I shouldn't even be fucking smoking in the first place. So then I started buying Montiegos. They're like $7. They're half the price. And I think they even taste almost better. They taste better. I feel like Marlboro Reds has a lot of stuff in there, you know. But I'm down to like 2-3 cigarettes a day. It's stupid, you know. I gotta quit cigarettes. I'm gonna quit cigarettes, and gotta quit.